lying down on our bellies. So come to lie down on the floor, and then bring your elbows, wrap your hands around each elbow. Drop your head down, so your forehead's resting on your elbows. And just feel your body connecting with the floor. This is crocodile pose, Makrasana, and it's a really lovely way to focus on your breathing, because we can physically feel the sensation of abdominal breathing when we lie here. Because every inhale, you feel your belly pushing into the floor, and every exhale, your belly starts to come away from the floor. We can use this belly breath connection to the floor to really hone in on the quality of our breath. Seeing how long we can make the inhale, how much that belly pushes into the floor. And how much the belly comes away from the floor as you exhale. As you feel your whole body relaxing, as you experience this deep belly breath, notice how you feel. Notice if even after these couple of minutes of deep abdominal breathing, you notice any change in the quality of your breath, in the experience of your body, and in the cessation of your thought patterns. Today's practice is going to be a combination of Yin, which is obviously a deep relaxation, moving into poses in quite a deep way, holding them for longer periods of time. It's pulling the energy down, as well as Yang, which is the opposite. It's bringing the energy up. It's more dynamic, it's more active. So this practice today is therefore going to be very balanced in these two dualistic expressions of yoga, Yin and Yang. So we'll start slowly. Lift your head up. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Push down with your feet. And we're just going to gently lift the chest up. Elbows are in towards the chest. Into Bhujangasana, baby cobra. And exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift the chest just a few inches off the floor. And exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen through the legs as you lift up from the chest. And exhale, release. Tuck the toes, push into your hands so that you lift up onto your knees and push your sit bones all the way back. Drop the chest down, coming into a child's pose. And noticing the connection here with your hands, your elbows, your knees, your feet, forehead, gently pushing into the mat. Push down firmly with your hands, with your fingertips, and then as if someone was pulling you up from the hips, start to lift the hips up so your knees start to lengthen and come up to our first downward facing dog. You can take your time getting there. Maybe bending one knee and lengthening the other and switching. And then lengthening out from the hands, through the arms, shoulders roll away from each other. Lift the hips high, knees can be bent, heels can be off the floor. We want that length in our spine, and the length in the hamstrings will come with time. Start to lift the right leg up, and then bending the knee, slowly start to rock forward. So the right knee is coming out to the side of your body, and then you're going to step the right foot next to the right hand. So we're coming into lizard pose here. Let me just turn so you can see. So you want to try to have your right knee in line with your right shoulder. Hands pushing firmly away from the floor. And you can keep the back leg extended, but that is going to be fairly intense, so I would recommend you drop the back knee. And then you can stay here on your hands, or you can drop the elbows down. Another option, if the elbows don't quite reach down, is to come onto your pillow. And we're going to stay here for 3 minutes. And whilst we're here, I want you to think about reconnecting with that deep belly breath that we cultivated at the beginning of the practice. We're really getting into the right hip here. So you're going to feel it on the outside of your right hip. You might feel it in your glutes, even in your piriformis. Send breath to that part of your body. And if it feels good, you can start to open the right knee away from you so that you're coming onto the right outer edge of your foot with the knee falling away. But if it's too much, then keep the knee to the arm. And most of you were in the class we did on Monday, where you set an intention for the week. I want you to see if you can remember that intention. And if you weren't in the class, no problem. You have the opportunity now to set an intention for the rest of the week. So maybe it's a particular behavior that you want to be aware of. Maybe it's something good that you want to cultivate for yourself or for the people around you. Maybe it's simple as I want to focus. If you can't remember your intention from Monday, no problem, set another one. And think about what that intention really means to you. Staying with the breath. Noticing what comes up in this deep hip opener. Something very important I didn't say at the beginning of the class. Obviously, you don't have a teacher in the room with you, so I ask you to please be responsible for yourself. If you feel intense pain at any point, then come out of the pose. Do what feels good for you. And just take a few more breaths here. And then if you're on your elbows, come up onto your hands. Bring the knee back in if you had it out. And then we're going to push back, and your right knee can stay bent, or maybe you can start to lengthen that leg. Inhale, lift your chest up, and exhale, fold forward. Pull the right hip back. Your right toes can be down, or you can lift the toes up. That's going to be a more intense stretch. Look up, bend the right knee, and walk the right foot so that it's now between your two hands. Bring the right foot outside the right leg. Push into your right big toe, engage the core, and inhale, lift up, low lunge. Pull everything into the midline, so feel the energy coming inwards so you can lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hands down, lift the back leg and step back, push back, downward facing dog. Noticing what feels different on the right side and the left side. And then coming up onto the balls of your feet. Start to round through the top of the spine, bringing your chest forward and into plank pose. Exhale, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, push back. One more time, slow, steady movement forward into plank, and exhale, push back. Let out a big breath. Come into a moment of stillness in our down dog, lengthening through the spine, pushing out through the hands, lifting the sit bones high. Then inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the knee, and slowly start to rock forward on your wrists, bringing the left knee around until you can step your left foot outside the left hand. So again, remember, we've got lots of options. You can stay like this with your knee lifted and your arms extended, or you can drop the back knee, which I recommend unless you really want to have a workout. And maybe you bring the pillow underneath and see if you can rest your arms comfortably down, or bring your arms all the way down. First of all, keep the left knee close to the left shoulder. Think about lengthening through your spine. So I can see I'm really rounded here. It's better for me to come up. And if you've been practicing the other mornings this week, we've been doing lizard pose every day. So we're building up to really opening the hips. Think about getting the hips low here. Connecting with that belly breath. And reconnecting again with your intention for the week. See if you can turn that intention into just one word. If you were going to summarize that intention with one word, what would it be? Maybe you can start to open the left knee out to the left, rocking onto the outer edge of your left foot. Breathing into your hips. And noticing what you experience. See how deep you can get into your hips. A few more breaths here. And then if you're on the outside edge of your foot, bring it back in, come back up onto your hands. And then start to extend the left leg. Pull the left hip back. Inhale, look up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up, walk your hands back, bend the left knee, walk the left knee in between your hands, push down with the left big toe, and inhale, low lunge. Again, feel everything pull into the midline so you can zip your pelvis up and lengthen through the spine. Reach the arms up, maybe finding Kali Mudra. Index fingers lift, thumb extends, other fingers wrap around each other. And you can stay extending, or you can start to sink forward into the hips. Release the hands, let the hands float back down to the floor. Tuck the back leg and step back, downward facing dog. Let out a big breath here. And then we're going to walk the feet forward and really push into each foot as you step it down so that you're pushing into the hip socket at the top of your leg. And then when you come towards your hands, bring the feet together. Inhale, halfway lift, extend through the spine. Exhale, hinging forwards. Take your hands onto the backs of your ankles. Knees can be bent here. And let your head fall down towards the floor. Neck relaxes. Chin relaxes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, hands to the floor. And then inhale, tuck your chin towards your chest as you rise up. Inhale, hands reach up, head comes up last. Look up at your thumbs. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Close your eyes, notice how you feel. Open your eyes. Inhale, swing the arms back. Reach them up overhead. And exhale, hinge from the hips. Think about your hands slicing through the air as they come down towards the floor. Inhale, look up. Extend through the spine. Exhale, step, or if you want to, gently jump. Hold plank for a moment, building some heat. Pull the core up and in, push out through the heels, push away from the floor, and then drop the knees. Elbows in towards the chest. Inhale, push up, cobra. Exhale, fold. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. So we're coming into the more yin part, the more yang part of the practice now. So slightly more dynamic movements, but keeping moving with the breath. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step the right foot through the hands. And remember, if you can't step all the way through, step halfway, and then take your right elbow under the right knee and pull your right foot forward. Drop both hands down and drop the back knee. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, push back and extend the right leg. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Pull back the right hip, left hip forward so your hips are in one line. Inhale, look up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up, and exhale, fold. Hold here, seeing how much you can really lengthen through that right leg. If the knee is bent, no worries. If you're still feeling that extension in the hamstring, that's what we're looking for. Inhale, look up. Rock forward onto the right knee. Release the back foot down and inhale back to low lunge. Option for Kali Mudra with the index fingers pointing up. Exhale, hands come down, lift the back leg and step back, downward facing dog. Straight into the other side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the left foot through. Remember, you can use your elbow to bring the foot forward. Drop the back knee and inhale, look up. Exhale, extend the left leg. Hips in one line, so really think about pulling the left hip back. Inhale, extend through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold, and let's stay here. Lengthening through the left hamstrings, the left calf, pulling the left hip back, and lengthening through the spine over the leg. Inhale, look up. Bend the left knee. Release the back foot. Push into the left big toe. Use your core, rise up. Kali Mudra. Reach up through the side body. And exhale, rain the fingers back down. Tuck the back toe and step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Just make sure you're still connected with that belly breath. Okay, we continue flowing. Lift the right leg up. Step the right foot through the hands. Keep the back leg extended now. Push onto your fingertips, lift the chest up. Hold here. And already think about pulling that right hip back, pushing out through the left heel, pushing down with the right big toe. So that we've got the foundation in our legs. And then when you're ready, you're stable. Inhale, reach the arms up into high lunge. Keep extending through the left heel. Pull everything into the midline. And then start to drop the hips down. Shoulders pull down the spine. Reach up through your fingertips and out through the side body. Then rain the fingers down. And pull the right hip back, extend the right leg. So both legs now extended. And stay with your left heel lifted. You can stay with the right toe down or lift the toes towards your face. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Feel your belly pushing into your thigh as you breathe. Inhale, look up. Lengthen through the spine. Drop the front toe down and then step the left foot in slightly so the heel is now on the floor, and you want your toes to both be facing forwards and in two parallel lines. Pull the right hip back, and you can come with your hands on your hips and extend through the spine here, or you can drop over the right leg. Inhale, look up. Push the left leg back so we're back in a low lunge, and step back, downward facing dog. Lift the hips high, roll the shoulders away from each other. Push out through the hands, out through the feet, lengthening the hips up. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Bend the knee. Push the floor away from you with your hands so you can round your back. And then step the left foot between the hands. Take a moment to find your stability here. Extend through the right heel. Push down with the left big toe. Lengthen through the spine. Engage the core. And inhale, rise up. High lunge. Pull everything in. Zip the pelvis up. And then sink into the hips. Bring the hands down to the floor. Right heel stays up. And then extend the left knee. And the foot can stay down, or you can lift the toes. Lengthen through the spine. And exhale, fold over the front leg. Doesn't really matter where your torso is if you're not over the leg. You just want to feel the lengthening in your left leg. Pull the left hip back. And then drop the left toes down. Step the right foot in. So the right toes pointing forwards, left toes forwards, both heels down. Bring your hands to your hips and lengthen through the spine. If this feels okay, you can drop the hands down and fold over the left leg. Bring the hands in front of you and push the right leg back so you're in a low lunge, and then step back down facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up, bend the knee, bring the right knee towards your right arm, and then drop the right shin down to the floor. And you may want to take your pillow or a block. So we're going to come into pigeon. So start to push your left foot back, release the right foot down, push into the floor with your left pinky, and push into the floor with your right shin. You can bring the cushion underneath your right hip, or if it feels okay, leave it, but I definitely recommend supporting it. Then inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, drop your chest down towards the floor, coming back into the yin part of the class. So close your eyes here and bring your attention to your heartbeat. Notice how lengthening your breath, breathing from your belly, is going to start to drop that heart rate back down. Here you can experience the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system working. You can feel the adrenaline that we've created in our body just from that short yang style sequence. Maybe your heart's beating faster. Maybe you feel slightly shorter of breath. And now, just by lengthening our exhales, we can experience how our body tells our muscles, tell our physiological reactions how to slow down. Returning to a state of calm. As you experience your body return to this equilibrium, this feeling of balance, notice what you're experiencing in your hip. Pigeon really works on our glute muscles, and underneath that our piriformis. So as we hold a pose like pigeon, we can get deeper into the piriformis. And that's a super important muscle for anything that's happening in our lower back and in our hamstrings. We've obviously just done a lot of quite intense work with our hamstrings. So maybe your piriformis is already talking to you, maybe it's talking to you quite loudly. Use your breath to tell it that everything's okay. Just lengthening out after all that extension in our hamstrings. A couple more breaths here. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest up. Maybe you can walk the hands back and lengthen through the spine. Then push your hands down, tuck the back toe, and lift the hips up to downward facing dog. And you're going to feel a really big difference now between that right side and the left side. So maybe just bending one knee and then the other, stretching out before we prepare to come into pigeon on the left side. So inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the knee, bring it to your left elbow, let the right leg slide back, drop the left shin down, push the right leg back, drop the foot, push into the left pinky and bring your cushion or your block or anything you need underneath your left hip. Really push down with the left shin so that you can extend maybe a little more. And then start to drop your chest down, keeping your hips in one line. Coming back to this word that you've cultivated as your intention. Ask yourself what that word means for you. How you want to connect with that word for the rest of the day ahead, the rest of the week. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And start to feel your body letting go. Send your breath to your left hip. Releasing tension out. Few more breaths here. Begin to look up. Walk your hands back so they're under your shoulders and push yourself up. Walk back, maybe finding a moment's more extension in your spine if it feels good. And then drop onto your left hip and swing the right leg forward. So some of you who've been coming to practice have said you have lower back pain, and obviously I don't know why, but quite often back pain is to do with our piriformis, so that muscle that we were starting to get into with pigeon. And this next pose is a really, really good way to get even deeper into that muscle. So definitely have a pillow or a block next to you. We're going to come into log pose. So the left knee is bent with your shin in front of you. And then take hold of the right foot and bring the right foot on top of the left knee. And bring, I would say, everyone bring a pillow underneath your right knee, even if you don't always need it. But let's just be very nice to our bodies today and see what that experience is like, even if you normally try and force it down a bit more. So we're all going to be experiencing different things here. Maybe you already feel in the left hip a lot of work going on. And if that's the case, then I invite you to stay here with your spine extended. You can bring your hands onto your foot and your knee. You're going to close your eyes and breathe into that left hip. If you think you can feel more, or you want to feel more, then you start to bring the chest forward and walk the hands in front of you and drop the head down. And this is, for me, this is one of the most intense hip stretches that I think there is. So you've got to be really patient with your body. And in this pose, you can feel a lot of emotions. We hold a lot of energetic energy in our hips. And because of our lifestyle in the West, it gets stuck there. There's very little that we do in our day-to-day lives to release that. So coming into poses like this, we really start to feel that energy come out, and it can be intense. So you might start to feel anger, frustration, sadness. Just know that that's a physical reaction to this pose, and it's actually a release. It's a good thing to experience that. You should let yourself experience it. And we're all going to experience it in a different way. With every inhale, sending love to your hips. Every exhale, seeing if you can go a little deeper. Connecting with your breath. Using the breath to hold this pose for a few moments more. If you folded forward, start to look up and start to walk your hands back. Everyone lift through the spine and then take hold of the right foot and release. Whew. Bend the knees and let them drop to the left and let them drop to the right. And then bringing your right calf to the floor, taking hold of the left foot and bringing it on top of the right knee. And of course you can take two things under here if you want, like I can put a block and a pillow under there. It doesn't matter at all what this shape is like. But you want to have a triangle when you look down. You're looking into a triangle tunnel. So that's the shape that matters. This shape with the knees doesn't matter at all. So just find a way that's manageable for you. And then start to lengthen through the spine and close your eyes. And ask yourself if this is enough today. You don't want to fold forward. Or if you do want to fold forward, then walking your fingers forward and dropping the chest down. If when you come down it's too much, then come back up, and you can of course slowly extend further. That's the good thing about Yin. We can gradually get deeper into a pose. And it can be really helpful actually to notice where you can start from and where you can finish from, just from breathing into the pose. With more intense poses like this as well, our body has a immediate reaction to things, especially if we're not used to doing them, where our nervous system's going to go, ah! What's happening? And our neurotransmitters will start sending signals that we need to get out of it. They go into a kind of panic mode. And as they realize that there's actually not a threat at all, that's when we can start to relax into it. So gently, slowly. Sending love to your left hip. Staying here, breathing into that hip joint. Noticing what you experience and connecting with any emotion that you experience. Feeling that energetic release. And when you're ready, lifting the head up. If you're down, bringing yourself back up. Moving the pillow if it's there. Lift the left knee up. Drop the knees to one side. The other side. And then extend the right leg out and bring the left foot inside the right inner thigh. Making sure that you're still on your sit bones, so pulling your butt away if you need to. Pull the left toes towards your body, and then, the right toes, and then gently turn your torso so that you're looking out over the right leg. And have your pillow handy. Maybe bring it over the knee, over the thigh, and then start to walk your fingers forward. So your hands can come underneath your right knee. They can be either side of your right foot, or you can take hold of the ankle, or you can take hold of the foot. And bearing in mind what I just said about Yin letting us slowly go into these poses, so that doesn't mean we have to go and flop down immediately. See how gently you can start, and notice that your body will relax into the pose, meaning that you can lengthen more from the spine, you can lengthen more through the hamstrings, and start to fold forward gradually. Every inhale, lengthening the spine. Every exhale, folding forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, walk the hands back. Bring the right knee in and the left leg out. Right knee comes inside the left leg. If your knee is really lifted as well, then maybe you want to put the pillow underneath it. And then turn your torso over the left leg. And maybe knees under the, hands under the knee. Maybe on the ankle. Again, slowly coming into Janushasana, head to knee pose. Lengthening through the spine. And folding forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, walk the hands back. Lengthen through the spine and extend the right leg out. Give your legs a shake, releasing any tension that might be left in your legs. And then reaching the arms forward, and then start to round your back. Engage your core. Start to come down to lie on your back, vertebra by vertebra. And then as you come down, bend the right knee in. Take hold of the right shin. Hug the knee to your chest. And then take the left hand to the right outer knee and move your knee over to the left side. Maybe you bring the pillow underneath the knee. Extend the right arm away from you and look over your right shoulder. Gentle twist, end the class with. And then bring the right knee back into your chest. If you have the pillow, switch it over to the other side. Hug the right knee in one more time and bring your nose to your knee. Release the knee, the leg and the head down. Bring the left knee in, hug it in towards your chest. Right hand to the left outer knee and roll the left knee over to the right side. Extend your left arm out, look over the shoulder. And roll back onto your back. And I'm laughing because I've just realised I've made a horrible mistake. Pull your nose to your knee and release. I checked the time and I was like, oh, we've still got time. It's not 4:30 yet, forgetting that the class is supposed to finish at 4:15. So I'm so sorry if you need to get on and go and do something. I'm so sorry. But if you've got even a minute for Shavasana, please take one. And I apologise for being a total idiot. So maybe if you're coming to Shavasana, bring the cushion underneath your knees and drop back. Inhale, lots of love in. Exhale, let your body sink down into the floor, releasing everything. So I'll stay here for a couple of minutes and then close the class. Of course, if you have even more time, stay here for longer, or I'm not offended at all if you have to get on with your day, in which case, have a beautiful day. If you're ready to come out, then follow me. Otherwise, please, of course, stay in Shavasana for as long as you have. But otherwise, start to bring movement into the toes and the fingers, the hands and the feet. Inhale, lifting your arms up overhead, reaching out through the fingers, out through the toes, and exhale, release. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. If the cushion's underneath you, then just pull it out to one side. Then bend your right knee and roll over onto the left side with your eyes closed for a few moments more. Push yourself up to a seated position. Close the class with one round of Om. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Hands meet, bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra. Feel the connection of these two opposing sides of your being. At the right side of your body, left side of your body represents, bringing them in union. The center of your heart. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Inhale for Om. Absolute pleasure to have guided you through this class today. Thank you so much. Hari Om Tat Sat. And I'm so sorry that I can't tell the time. I hope I haven't ruined anyone's days.
That was great, thank you.
Yay. Just while you're all here,
I'm very happy to do hour-long